Today is an exciting day for the channel. I want to give a huge thank you for my buddy Britt over at 10th Scale RC Performance for sending me out a brand new truck, the Laegendary Thunder. Those that watch his channel know he is the best Legendary content on YouTube, bar none. And if you haven't seen his channel, definitely go check it out. He has tons of videos on this truck. He actually has several of these. He has a speed run version that he made real hopped up and quick. Another one which is his mid-level truck. He might even have a third one. He has some of their smaller models. I can't keep track, but tons of Legendary RCs over there. And he had a spare one, we'll say, an extra one. I'd been asking for a while if I might be able to get in with Legendary. I really wanted to get one of their trucks, and I can't thank him enough for sending this out. These trucks, for the price, I don't think there's a better truck out there. And I just want to see for myself just how good these are. We've been going back and forth and helping each other with our hay boxing trucks, speed running them, and I'm really excited to be able to join him and testing out the Laegendary Thunder. And of course I'll start off stock, and then I'm going to quickly start modifying it and join him with speed running. It sounds like it's much more stable than my HBX truck, and who knows where I'm going to take this thing. But again, I'm just really excited to join him on the journey. Let's take a look at this truck and some of the features it has. Okay, so this truck is supposed to be 10th scale, and I believe it is. I think it's pretty sizable. And let's see what we get here in the box. All right, so here's the body, and real quick, let me go ahead and measure it. This truck's about 16 inches. I guess that's about 10th scale. It's very similar in size to my Arrma Big Rock's body, so I'm gonna say that is definitely 10th scale. Now it comes with two different bodies. There's this one here, and there's the one here that those either familiar with the truck have probably seen online on Amazon. This is the one they show that comes with the truck. Now, for the transmitter, I've heard it's very underwhelming. Right away, it definitely is quite small. I guess it does fit my hand, but certainly, you gotta remember the price point of this truck. As cheap as it is, you can't have everything, and I hear the range on this is pretty limited as well, but I'll range test it in my first video and we'll see how well it performs. It might be just fine for bashing, but for speed runs you typically need a long range, so this might not quite be cut out for that. But there we go. Here is the transmitter, and it's pretty straightforward, but it has steering trim, throttle trim, and it looks like it has dual rate. So there's definitely transmitters with less features than that. Now, one note on the transmitter, it actually takes 4 AAA batteries. Most transmitters I've ever used take AA, but you'll want to make sure you have AAA batteries. All right, so here's my Arrma Big Rock on the right and the Laegendary Thunder on the left. And you can see they're pretty similar in size. The Big Rock is actually a longer wheelbase than some of the other Arrma 10th scale trucks, and it is a little longer than the Laegendary Thunder, but I do think the wheelbase on this will be similar to an Arrma truck like the Granite. As far as the length of the body, the Big Rock is about maybe an inch or so longer. They're not that different, and the Laegendary Thunder is actually wider. I measured it, it's like 4.5 inches. This is only about 4 inches, at least at the roof. So there you go. I mean, it is 10th scale. Now over here in this box, what do we have here? It looks like a pretty robust wheelie bar. We have the manual, and I'll go ahead and open up this bag and we'll see what's in here. So here's what else comes in the box. It does come with a LIPO bag, so that's a nice touch. I actually don't own one. And here we have, looks like some extra suspension arms, tie rods. They're adjustable. And the actual arms, in case I end up breaking some of those, includes an additional spur gear, some body mounts, a USB plug if you're going to charge it with the USB charger, I won't, but those of you that are just getting into the hobby and want a true ready-to-run truck, it's nice that it actually does come with a USB block. Most only come with chargers. And it looks like here we have an adapter. It's Dean's, and I believe it's going to have two small 2S LIPOs, and this will allow you to connect those together in parallel and you know, connect it to the ESC with one connector on this end. There's also looks like, I'm assuming, an extra battery strap. Oh, I did want to mention, I do love the way their manuals look. It has kind of like that cartoon look to it. I don't know, I just always thought it was kind of cool how they went with like a cartoon look. The manual looks pretty standard, quite a bit of information in here, and you know, diagrams to, looks like all the different parts. And I have looked online, and Laegendary does have good parts availability online, so should I break anything, I should be able to get replacement parts. So I know nobody's really interested in the manual, but I just wanted to take a quick look at that. And here's a list of the different things. Looks like the battery's a 5200 milliamp hour 2S, and again, there's the two bodies and everything else I've already showed you. All right, let's see if I can get this thing out of the box. Might be tied down. Looks like it has some plastic straps I'm gonna have to snip, so let's go ahead and get these out of the way. There's that one back here. All right, and there we go. Right away, you can tell the shocks are oil filled. Let's take a look under the body here and see what we're working with. The body, it's definitely not the thickest body I ever owned, but we'll see how it holds up. I don't recall Britt ever really complaining too much about the body. And maybe what I'll do is actually line it with some Gorilla Tape or possibly some shoe goo and drywall tape to strengthen it. All right, so we have an ESC here that I believe is a 50 amp. Yeah, 10 BL 50. That might actually be Hobbywing. Okay, there we go. Hobbywing 1050 BL. So it's 50 amp. Here it says 60 amp, but it also says 50 amp. But regardless, it is a Hobbywing ESC, and they make great budget-friendly ESCs. So good stuff. I actually just realized in the manual too, the ESC allows you to program it. You can adjust the punch, the brake force, the minimum voltage before it hits the low voltage shutoff. That's really nice. I have some much more expensive ESCs than what come in here. They actually don't even allow you to adjust the punch. And it does look like a Hobbywing programming card will work in here as well. The motor is a 3650, a true 3650, not an F540, and it says it's 3300 kV. So that'll allow it to not only run 2S, 3S will be a breeze. It probably won't even get that hot on 3S. And then with a different ESC, you can actually run this motor on 4S with no problem. Heck, you might be able to even, for a really short run, go 6S. I probably wouldn't try it, but 4S certainly should be fine. So here's the receiver. It's got a nice aluminum or some kind of metal chassis brace. And let's take a look here at the battery that they supply with the truck. I don't anticipate this battery is really going to blow my hair back. It's a 2S, listed as 30C LIPO, 5200 milliamp hour. It's pretty light, but I'll go ahead and speed truck this thing here in the very near future, and I'll compare it to several other batteries, and we'll see how this one performs. It's going to get the truck out there and running and let me get a feel for it. And I have tons of batteries. I test batteries on my channel all the time, so we'll definitely try several different batteries in here and see what kind of performance increase we can get. I just grabbed a couple batteries to see how they'd fit in here. Here's the stock one, and here it is next to a CNHL 2S 8000. It's definitely thinner. It's smaller in all dimensions, so I think there's going to be a lot of performance left on the table with this. Again, it'll be fine for getting out and starting off, but I'm going to test something like this against it, and we'll see how much faster this goes on 2S. Then I'm going to see if this fits in here. This is actually a longer 3S battery than most trucks can fit, most cars can fit, and it just barely seems to fit in here. This always has posed a problem in my Traxxas Bandit. Now this is a standard hard case 3S SMC, amazing high performance battery that fits in there well. I'm gonna have to talk to Britt about how you mount this. It's too tall to use the pin mount system. Perhaps that's where that strap comes in handy, or I'm not quite sure how we're gonna mount it, but I know there's ways to get it in there, so we'll get it in. Here's a 4S 4000 milliamp hour battery, and that also fits in there. So the battery tray is a good size, and definitely gives you a lot of options for the types of LiPos you can run in here. My understanding is this truck will probably go high 20s, maybe 30 miles an hour on the stock 2S LiPo, but it'll probably hit 45 plus on 3S. So stay tuned for that. As far as the shocks, again, they are oil filled and they're adjustable. You can spin this little collar here to adjust the preload on the springs. So that's actually quite nice. Again, I'm saying for the price point here, this truck is packing a lot. The durability, we'll have to see. This truck is not one you're going to want to take to a skate park. You're not going to want to do heavy bashing with it. The CVD shafts and the dog bones here in the back, my understanding is that is the Achilles heel of this truck. And when you crash, especially at speed, there's a good chance they'll bend. But otherwise, I mean, this, again, at this price point, it packs so much. Adjustable tie rods, not fixed, so that's a nice feature. You know, decent bumper on there, at least it appears so. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap the wheelie bar on here, and yeah, I can't wait to get this thing out and do a quick speed run with it and see how it performs. I'll also test this off-road, at least on a baseball field, maybe run it through a little bit of grass just to test it out. But for me, this is mostly gonna be utilized on-road and you know, mild off-road fun like baseball fields and such. If you want a truck that's really gonna be capable of extreme off-road bashing, this probably isn't the truck for you. But you know, if you're new to the hobby, or you just want a cheap, I should say budget-friendly truck that has a lot of potential, I think this is gonna be it. Again, I have some knowledge of this truck from Britt's channel, and I think he got a pretty stock one of these up well into the 50s, maybe it was close to 60 miles an hour. And he has a speed run version that, well, I can't really share how fast that's gone yet, but let's just say quite fast, and his ultimate goal is 100 miles an hour. So definitely check out his channel for that content. He's way ahead of me. But yeah, I think that's really all I have to say for this truck for now. And definitely stay tuned, because I'm gonna push this thing hard like I always do with trucks on my channel. And again, a huge thank you to Britt for sending this thing out. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.